Welcome back. February 24th to 29th is Rare Disease Week. Now, although most of our stories on Nationwide are upbeat, now and again we get some heartbreaking correspondence about people who are having difficult times. Our next story is one such story of a Wicklow family who've been on a very difficult journey. We sent Valerie Waters to meet the Martin family to find out all about a campaign that they are running to have newborns screened for a higher number of diseases than is currently available in Ireland.
Milo, with the 3 videos.
Yeah, show the ball to Coggy. Yeah.
No, she's in mine.
This is the Martin family, and they live in Wicklow town. Les and Linda have 3 children, Holly, who's 7, Cathal, who's 5, and Kieran is 3.
I don't like pizza.
You don't like that biscuit?
Maybe he's
You don't like kisses?
good.
When Holly was very young, she nicknamed her brothers Cogs and Kiwi, and those names have stuck with everyone in the family. Les's mother Susan is here today. She's a great help with the children. Both boys have been diagnosed with a rare disease called metachromatic leukodystrophy, commonly known as MLD. Cathal was diagnosed at the age of 2.5 and Kieran at 9 months.
Basically, the boys are missing an enzyme, a very important enzyme called aryl sulfatase A, which protects the myelin sheet. Without it, the white matter in the brain and the myelin that covers the nerves deteriorates. It's a degenerative disease, and we didn't know that Cathal had this up until we got his diagnosis, and then from then on things started to decline very rapidly. So
because Cathal's diagnosis was at the age of 2.5, it was sadly too late for him to receive the gene therapy treatment that his younger brother Kieran got in Italy at the age of 9 months. Kieran is now doing well, despite some difficulties, and will be going to school in September. Cathal's experience has been different. He has had a lot of challenges going from being an active toddler to being a child who is now fully dependent on his parents for everything.
MLD unfortunately will take away his sight as well as his hearing, and we believe that he can still see and he can still hear. To what extent, we don't know, but he's very comfortable at the moment. We went through a very tough time where Cathal was losing his ability to talk and to swallow. He was unable to sit up by himself, so that was a very difficult and painful time. Now Cathal is much more settled and much more comfortable, and that's what we do every day, is just make sure that he's nice and happy and he's comfortable, and we always either have him in our arms, we're going out for walks or to the park. Even though we have many restrictions and limitations, it doesn't stop us, packing up the car and heading off for the day. Myself and Les, before all of this happened, it was a very happy household. We had 3 beautiful kids, and we were both working full time. Things were very, very busy. I was working full time as a nurse, and Les worked as an engineer, and the kids were in childcare. Things were very good, very happy. We have a little rest, Coggies. We will. Since the diagnosis of both the boys, myself and Les both gave up work, and so we're both carers. Isn't that right, Coggies? We sit you up a little bit.
Cathal is fed by a PEG tube and receives over 30 doses of medication throughout the day. He sleeps beside his parents' bed. They turn him during the night and watch over him to make sure he's always comfortable. Support also comes from Enable Ireland, Jack and Jill Nurses, and Laura Lynn. The community support has been very strong too. As Cathal's younger brother Kieran was pre-symptomatic when he was diagnosed with MLD, Les and Linda knew they had to act very quickly when they were offered an opportunity for Kieran to take part in a trial gene therapy treatment in a hospital in Milan.
We had to go, so we found that out on Friday, I believe. And we were in Milan the next Monday with Kieran to immediately have him assessed to see if he was eligible for this trial, because time was ticking, and the longer you leave these kids, the less chance they have.
Kieran was accepted onto the trial and the entire family moved to Milan for 9 months. Kieran had to have chemotherapy and a bone marrow transplant during his gene therapy treatment.
The results from that trial have been very positive for a lot of kids, Kieran included, and we're hoping that that treatment will be licensed this year and will be a solution for future generations of MLD patients. The Italians introduced a law that every child born in Italy has the right to be screened for any condition for which there is a treatment. And that law compelled their health system to expand rapidly to cover any condition that has a screening for and a treatment. Well, they'll provide that for their citizens. It's a human rights issue. Amongst the EU countries, Ireland's at the very bottom of the pile in terms of the amount of conditions we screen for. The average is 22 in the EU. We're only doing 8 here, and it's costing lives. So, you know, a call in our arms. I can only think of the families ahead of us that we could help avoid that suffering for them.
In the last year, Les Martin has campaigned for legislation to have newborn screening expanded from 8 diseases at present to 40. This would have the potential to save about 50 children's lives every year. He is also campaigning for the implementation of the existing rare disease plan and to build adequate genetic services in Ireland.
Every week there's a child born in this country with a disease, like Cottle's disease, that they don't know about. It's like a clock ticking in my mind, and it keeps me awake at night. And when I have Cottle in my arms, and I know the level of suffering that he's had to endure through his what's going to be a short life, and what Lynn and I have had to live through, it's just it's unacceptable. Like to leave it on the table, like I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy, and I can't do it to small babies. Much good can be done. Words doesn't do it justice, really. If you were to see what I had seen in the last 3 years with Cottle's slipping through our fingers, you'd know what I meant. You know, the value of this is just massive to the families and to the kids. It's not fair to ignore it, and I really want that momentum to continue until this job is done. This is an important document. It's been launched in Rare Disease Week. It's an easy guide to rare diseases in Ireland. It's ideal for parents like Linda and I. Really had no knowledge of the rare disease community or of the information and support that was available to us for the first 2 years almost of the boys' diagnosis and their condition. But since we have made contact with these people, we found them, you know, been really beneficial in terms of information and just personal support and being part of a community of people that understands some of the things that we live through every day, you know. We're looking forward to Rare Disease Week from the 24th to the 29th February. 29th of February is that rare day. 1 in 4 years we have it, but it's a special one this year because Michael D has invited us up to the Áras an Uachtaráin for a family event and a party for us to celebrate being rare and to enjoy the day and to speak positively about a vision for the future here in Ireland. And I can't help but think of like Cahill's role in all of this, and having saved his brother and brought us to Italy and making all these connections, and back we are here, speaking about making a real difference from one boy's life.
February 24th to the 29th is Rare Disease Week, and if anyone deserves to be invited to the Áras, it is families like the Martins. Wonderful parents doing the very best they can for their 3 children, and hopefully their efforts to get full screening for all newborns can be realised. That ends our programme for this evening. Slán Maggie.